With just a few days left until the Ballon d'Or nominees are announced, and with Yamal now wearing the iconic number 10 shirt, many fans are already saying he deserves to win it. That's right, at just 18 years old, the same age most of us were still picking the wrong college major, this kid is already scoring crucial goals in the Champions League. But is there really a chance Yamal could become the youngest Ballon d'Or winner ever, beating Ronaldo Nazario's record? Are there stats or any kind of evidence showing the Wonder Kid is actually ahead of the other contenders? First, how is the Ballon d'Or even decided? Does France football have some kind of oracle octopus picking the winner out of a fish tank? Sadly, no. The magazine doesn't have clear criteria or requirements for the nominations. All they officially say is that they value individual performance like stats and team success like trophies, but even that is not very objective because the winner is chosen by 100 journalists from the top 100 FIFA ranked countries. As you might guess, all these football journalists are obviously super qualified and know exactly what they are talking about.
Now, football. English Premier League. Chelsea 4, United 1.
That's why a lot of people say the problem is that these journalists just go with their own gut feelings and no one ends up happy. In the end, subjectivity takes over. Recency bias also kicks in. If a player did something amazing in the last 2 or 3 months of the season, they suddenly look like a stronger candidate than others who were more consistent all the year. Or sometimes it's just about hype and marketing. Some people argue that relying purely on stats or performance indexes misses the full picture. Numbers alone can capture the magic certain players bring. It's that kind of magic that stats just can't record, but still gives you a feeling, the same one Speed probably gets every time he sees Cristiano Ronaldo, even if he's just sitting on the bench. I say all this because my opinion probably won't match the official Ballon d'Or ranking, given how subjective the award is. What I'll try to do is look at individual stats and other trophies as a starting point and see if Lamine Yamal could realistically be this year's big winner. In the 2024-25 season, which is the one that counts for the nomination, Yamal scored 21 goals and gave 22 assists across club and country. To put that into perspective, Messi won this award in 2023 with around 28 goals and 23 assists. Benzema, who plays more as a striker, won it on 2022 with 44 goals and 15 assists. But what about Yamal's actual competition? The ones who could take the award from him? And no, unfortunately, the GOAT Anthony doesn't make the cut this time. From Barcelona, Rafinha had 38 goals and 23 assists. The Champions League winner, Dembélé, scored 35 and assisted 14. My pick for the best Premier League player, Mo Salah, delivered a brutal 37 goals and 24 assists. And then there's Mbappé, who's been both hyped and criticized with 46 goals and 7 assists. If we look strictly at goal contributions, Rafinha and Salah are on top with 61 each. Yamal falls a bit behind with 43, and it's not like he didn't get enough playtime either. Yamal played close to 60 matches, just like most of the players in the Ballon d'Or conversation. Some might say Yamal's position isn't really about stats like goals and assists, and they might have a point. Yamal isn't exactly a pure scorer, but his impact on the teams he plays for is still huge. In knockout stages alone, he scored 8 goals and provided 5 assists. That puts him level with Rafinha in goals, although he falls short of Dembélé, who scored 9. He actually beat Salah by a lot, since the Liverpool star only had 2 goals and no assists in the knockouts. The main reason for that was Liverpool giving penalty duties to Darwin Núñez, which left Salah with a fewer chances. This also highlights something important: performance in big competitions, and that's where trophies come into play. Lamine Yamal, alongside Rafinha, won 3 major trophies: La Liga, the Spanish Cup, and the Spanish Super Cup. If it hadn't been for Araujo's incredible performance in that semi-final, they might have been fighting for one more. Dembélé, on the other hand, picked up 4 titles: the French Cup, Ligue 1, the French Super Cup, and the Champions League, where he knocked out Salah's Liverpool. And well, for the Mbappé's fans, let's just say things didn't end too well in the Champions League. Although it's not an official rule, when there's no World Cup or Euro in the year, the trophy that matters the most is the Champions League. That works in Dembele's favor, and for any key player at PSG. This brings us to Vitinha, who was crucial in PSG's Champions League run and their path to the Club World Cup final. The problem for Vitinha, or even for someone like Pedri, is that the Ballon d'Or usually goes to attacking players. Only 3 players this century have won it without being purely offensive: Cannavaro, Modric, and Rodri. But if other players have better stats or more trophies this season than Yamal, what are the arguments in his favor? First, Yamal has that kind of magic that's hard to quantify. It's the reason why some fans believe Haaland isn't as exciting as Yamal, or why Lukaku isn't as good as, well, honestly, pretty much any striker who doesn't help the opposing defense is better than Lukaku. Like I said, these are the kind of things that don't always show up in stats, or maybe they do. I found 2 possible stats that reflect this magic: dribbles and goals from outside the box. This season, Yamal completed 259 dribbles, Dembele had 121, Rafinha 79, and Salah 72. When it comes to goals from outside the box, Yamal scored 7, Dembele 2, Salah 1. The only one close is Rafinha, with 6. That's why every time Yamal touches the ball, there is a feeling of danger and excitement. Even when he's far from the goal, you expect either a long-range strike or a dribble that breaks the defense. Another argument is the strength of the league. Many say the stats of a player like Yamal, Rafinha, or Salah should be valued more because they play in tougher leagues. PSG, where Dembele plays, has won 8 of the last 10 league titles. There is just not as much competition there as in other places. In Spain, things are more balanced between Barcelona and Real Madrid, and in the Premier League, even though Manchester City has dominated in recent years, the title race is always intense, to the point that even Leicester once managed to win it. So, are these arguments enough for Yamal to become the youngest Ballon d'Or winner in history? In my opinion, no. I think Yamal lost his shot at the Ballon d'Or in the semi-final against Inter and the final against Portugal, where Nuno Mendes completely shut him down. Those kind of matches and trophies often matter more than stats, especially when the stats are close among several players. And when it's that tight, the one who has won more, like Dembele, usually ends up with the edge. So, like I said before, and I think I mentioned it in an earlier video, for me this award will go to Dembele. And honestly, I don't even think Yamal will be second. I believe that spot will go to Rafinha. Yes, I know that might be controversial, but if you look at it overall, Rafinha had a slightly better individual numbers and was more consistent this season. So, if my predictions are right, and they certainly almost never are, the top 5 would be Dembele, Rafinha, Yamal, Salah, and Vitinha. That's a bit different from the list Score 90 posted. And anyway, I think we all know it's only a matter of time before Yamal wins one. Or maybe I'm wrong, and this is already his moment. Let me know in the comments if you think Yamal could actually win this award or if everything is just nonsense. I'll be reading and might even change my mind. Thanks for watching.